just like the way this team plays. They have clear defined roles, which I always enjoy to commentate, where you've got Virtuoso as just demolitions man, but hang about, for all that analysis I was going to do, Econ's using a Merc. I hope they win.
I love it.
Me too.
Nothing but respect to him pulling that out, and people sometimes want to say, like, oh, he's trolling, or it's the Octane hitbox, let's be real. Like, it's still a viable option. It's still something you like to see. And speaking of Virtuoso, the demos have begun. It just took a couple seconds into game one, and he is ready to put his head down in Relating Wave. Great touch there to get that save. And these teams did play in the first split, and Endpoint got the better of VENC, 1-3-1, and VENC looking to get a little revenge here.
They'll have every opportunity. Econ as well, the man in the Merc. Was said to be one of the most exciting up-and-coming French players by Solary's UKIS, so keep an eye on him, flying that French flag, frying that French flag.
Hey, I love French fries, bro, so I get it.
Frying those French fries, brilliant. A minute and a bit into this game and still 0-0. As Kryptos and Catalysm pinch to find Relating Wave. While we've been talking, Virtuoso's already got himself 2 or maybe 3 demos, and almost an assist as well for Metsonorus. Maybe a shot again, but saved by Econ. And that is Virtuoso all over. The man rotates, he does, but he's also more than happy to stay in place and get a redirect, or indeed, a massive demo.
That was a redirect, just keeping him honest. Look at that placement going upper 90, right-hand side. And Relating Wave gets the first one, minute 33 into game one.
In the most recent grid, Endpoint reached the semi-finals, and we spoke to Relating Wave en route, and he admitted himself that he was actually having a poor day at the office mechanically, and they still made the semis. So if he is getting these sweet tips, scoring all sorts of nasty goals, then Endpoint are a well-oiled machine. So that's a really good start for them. I would say they'll be incredibly pleased, not just about the fact that they've scored, but who the goal scorer was. So it's good to get the struggler on the score sheet nice and early, get his confidence back. But here come back VENC, and that's a great response. Kryptos to Catalysm, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, using the third man as one of your own, that back wall. Great to pass off of, keep the defense honest, and Cataclysm getting the first one there to tie up the game. And the defense breaking down there for Endpoint. They all bunched up in that corner, took a demo, kind of clear things up, and you don't like to see that. I'd like to see them space out a little bit, and someone's sitting back in that net.
Good looking game so far, this one. Very even between these two as Relating Wave and Catalysm dunk each other out, but it's Catalysm that comes out on top. Virtuoso's touch is boostless, so we can't do too much with it, and Relating Wave on the return gets a really important demo on Kryptos to launch this next attack. Here comes Wave again. He's already got one. Has he got another one? Showing off the mechanics. Oh, Relating Wave, it's good to see you out and about, and it's 2-1.
Oh my goodness, Relating Wave is just pulling out the biceps here and flexing on the defense. Pushes it through all 3 of them. The mechanics on full display from him early here in this series.
Up he goes again. Actually, he's going to wait to get the perfect touch. It's out wide towards Metsonorus. Relating Wave took a demo for his troubles, but he won't care too much if it does launch an attack. You can see there Virtuoso happy to cut the rotation, and Relating Wave was called straight out from it. He then takes a shot on a hat-trick, of course, so he'll be feeling all the confidence in the world right now, but it's Kryptos that launches a dribble. Not seeing too much from VENC other than the goal that they've got. It's an overall quite even game, but most of the pressure has been Endpoint, and when they do launch an attack, someone is getting demoed, and the attack seems to die away.
Yeah, and VENC Gaming hasn't been without their shots. They've had plenty of opportunities, but they just haven't had the control in the offensive half. They've just been launching the ball at net and hoping that it's going to find their mark instead of trying to work for it. Good dunk there in the air from Kryptos. That one's going to fall down, and Econ unable to get that double touch. And good 50-50, yes. I like the defense we're seeing from Endpoint. No panic on their side.
We have had double commits from Endpoint in recent times, particularly between Relating Wave and Metsonorus. Communication is always so key for this roster as they play so strangely, but that's a good boom from Econ. I didn't even see him there. There was Catalysm who was up. I saw Relating Wave and Metsonorus waiting for the ball, and I was like, good comms, lads. And then actually, Catalysm almost got what would have been a devastating redirect.
That one would have made me lose everything there. That was insane. I saw him coming. I was sitting at midfield with the overlay and just waiting to see him try and get a touch there.
So good ideas from VENC Gaming, but still only one goal that they've got on the score sheet, and that's a good read from Metsanoris, cutting out that pass. In comes Kryptos. Metsanoris closes him down too. Catalysm onto the ceiling, or towards it. Econ gets the next touch. Virtuoso's in a little bit of a tricky position. That's a great touchdown to Relating Wave. And Endpoint can continue to defend, but it's good now pressure from VENC. They found a way to keep Endpoint penned.
Yeah, and Virtuoso almost got caught cheating there. He was moving closer and closer to midfield there, coming out of net. And that shot was just there to make him stay honest. Like, hey, no, I can put this over you. You better stay back there. And you love to see that because that forces them to stay in net. They can't cheat out to break up those midfield passes. And Econ going to get it back in time, put it up the side wall. Great pass to Kryptos, but that one gets away from him. And that's a turnover at midfield. And that's something they need to watch on. And here we go. 10 seconds to go, Cole. They need to march the length of the field. Catalysm again just throws it up in midair. Metsanoris keeps that ball alive, and Econ got to keep it up. And no, it's going to hit the ground, and Endpoint steal game number 1.
I think they were in control for most of it, Endpoint, but certainly in that last 45 seconds, for the first time, we saw real sustained pressure from VENC Gaming. They couldn't quite get that finish, but it wasn't for lack of trying. I mean, Econ alone, in his Merc, had 7 shots in that game, which surprises me because I didn't notice too much of him. But statistically, apparently, the man was everywhere.
Yeah, and I'd like to see VENC Gaming do a better job on defense in this game. I get they only allowed 2 goals, but they allowed Endpoint way too much offensive pressure and way too much time in the offensive zone. I'd like to see him try and clear that ball, and instead of just hitting it away like we saw in the last 15 seconds where should have had an opportunity on offense, they just couldn't get the ball out of their half because they tried to just bomb it downfield, and you're not going to catch Endpoint off guard that easily.
Well, from the stadiums of the Rocket League universe, we take a journey downtown towards Urban, my favorite map. I always feel like I play better on this map. Do you have some maps that you feel you play better on, Subi?
Mine's Manfield Night. I just love
Really?
the aesthetics. It makes me feel like I'm a professional. I'm on the big stage. The lights are out, and the lights are out for Metsanoris because he's just shooting them out right now.
That pun would not have worked for me because we don't say lights out. That's an Americanism. So if I'd have been there, I'd have been left punless, mate. But for you, perfect timing from Mets.
Well, that's kind of like me saying cheers. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
That's true. I promise to never make you do that if you promise never to make me say lights out.
I can't promise that. I don't like to make promises, you know?
Alright, well, we'll see if it happens in the future, but what we do know is that Endpoint take an early lead in game number 2, quicker than their lead in game 1, and that's a good touch from Relating Wave, but it is the VENC man that's up for it. Now, Catalysm from the side, he's been so close to forcing a couple of goals for his team, but not quite there yet. Looks most likely to me, though, to thread the needle against this Endpoint defense, which is holding out really well as Catalysm loses the ball actually to Virtuoso. Metsanoris is surely going to get his second. Oh! It's a freebie for VENC, but Virtuoso sweeps up. Oh my goodness.
And it's just the speed difference here for Endpoint, just a little faster to get up off the ground, and that's all the difference there for Metsanoris to beat out the defender and put that ball right over him, and he should have had a goal, but Virtuoso was there for the cleanup, and Endpoint with the quick 2-0 lead. Here comes VENC Gaming. They've got numbers. The pass is there. Oh, Catalysm can't get the touch. It was such a beautiful infield pass.
You see what I mean, though? He is the one that looks like he has the capability of scoring against Endpoint. He's been so close on so many occasions, but hasn't quite made that connecting touch that he needs, but he will keep on trying. You can believe that. He goes around the side this time, but Metsanoris gets a block. Relating Waves onto the next touch, beats Econ to the ball. Metz is coming up. Does he have any teammates with him? He's going to go off the ceiling. Good decision. Catalysm gets a demo on Metsanoris, and then Econ can put it to the side for Kryptos.
That's a good touch there. Metsanoris was cheating up, not expecting that ball to go backwards. And that's a dangerous clear there, but somehow gets the touch, just falling back down. And like I love to say, sometimes it's better to be lucky rather than skilled.
Kryptos, though, will keep the attack going. Metsanoris will catch it away, and that one is fully skilled. Couldn't quite complete his work and get a shooting opportunity off it, but he has completely turned this play around. It's now Endpoint that have the pressure. A demo from Virtuoso comes in, opening things up even more. Relating Wave surely is going to score, but Catalysm gets back well. Virtuoso keeps it going, and Kryptos with some good work on the backboard. Actually, only finds Metsanoris. They're living a dangerous life, VENC. But as it stands, they're still only 2 down as Relating Wave puts that one to the side.
And I'm liking the pressure we're seeing in this one compared to game number 1 from VENC Gaming, but they still held scoreless here. And Virtuoso, great turnaround there. I love when he hits the ball and stays with the pressure. Instead of, you see a lot of players rotate out, going for boost, and he doesn't care if he's boostless. He's going to keep pressure on that ball, or he's going to keep pressure on the defense by trying to get bumps and just kind of get in their head a little bit.
On the Endpoint streams, Subi, we have something called VERTCAN. That's it.
Oh.
Wow, I timed telling that story absolutely horrifically, because suddenly it's 2-1.
Yeah, stop talking about the team you are so biased for. VENC Gaming going to make you pay for it.
What I was going to say was on the stream we've got something called VERTCAN, and he is just the craziest player. Like, he will completely turn around with 0 boost and chase an opponent. He'll get a bump, and it won't affect anything. You know, but somehow it just frustrates him. But that's almost a shot from Catalysm. Cryptos comes in. VENC are working their way into this one. That's a miss from Econ. Now Virtuoso get a 50-50 against Catalysm. Relating Wave comes away with the ball. Fakes out Cryptos. Now it's a pass to the center. It's Virtuoso up against Econ. Econ wins out, and now Catalysm can get a counter-attack going towards Cryptos. How is his redirect? Not ideal. It wasn't quite high enough to go to the backboard, and it wasn't horizontal enough to find a pass. Metsonoris got the next touch. Now Virtuoso finds himself in the far corner. Metsonoris comes in, but it's saved well by Cryptos. Relating Wave this time won't score. Catalysm will clear. Wave out wide to Econ. He will keep this one going. Econ gets the 100 boost, so Relating Wave will be a little bit low, which means he had to give up on the play. Now Cryptos into the center. Blocked by Metsonoris. VENC Gaming at the moment struggling to really get anything going. There's suggestions that there might be a decent attack coming, but Endpoint are defending it very well indeed. Maybe this is the moment. Virtuoso is a little bit high, and that was going to fall to Econ. He takes out Virtuoso. Actually, that's a chance.
No!
It's fall to Catalysm! And Metsonoris can't get the save, and VENC have brought it back.
And I said, oh no, because I thought he missed the touch, and he did. Econ just let it go, but the comms were there. He knew Catalysm was sitting at midfield, right at the top of the box, waiting to put the shot on target, and it couldn't have come at a more opportune time. Less than a minute to go. The game's tied up. Econ rushes back and gets that boost to keep Metsonoris at bay.
This is looking more and more like a series that's going to go all the way, especially if VENC can take this second game. Would really help those who love a game 5. Leading a reverse sweep, but Econ comes forward up against Virtuoso. This could be the moment. The touch isn't quite there. It's rushed from Econ, but it has set up Catalysm via Virtuoso, and VENC have turned it completely on its head.
What a turnaround from this team, getting 2 goals in 30 seconds, and Catalysm, great shot placement there. He sees 2 defenders sitting in net, knows that they're probably low on boost, so he's just going to fire that one right under the crossbar. He hits his mark. This is going to be a good opportunity for Relating Wave. Cryptos meets him right in middle of air, but hello, nobody going for that, and that ball was sitting awkwardly at the top of the box. You would have thought Endpoint would have been all over it.
They have had a couple of misses in attack, but they've got 15 more seconds to make this final one land and force an overtime. Goes out wide to Virtuoso. He's beating Catalysm to it, and Metsonoris has taken out Cryptos in the center. Econ gets a good clearance, but only as far as Virtuoso, and Virtuoso's following up for the second touch as well. Cryptos helps Econ out. Can the pass come in? It's to Metsonoris, but it's well blocked by Catalysm, and that, I think, is going to fall. Yes, it will. VENC Gaming take game 2, and they had to work hard for that one.
They did. They had to play a full 5 minutes there, and even with that being said, Endpoint almost connected on that infield pass there to tie up the game. It was just out of the outstretched arms of, I believe it was Metsonoris.
It was.
But yes, Endpoint, seems like they kind of lulled themselves to sleep a little bit, and that's all it took for VENC Gaming to get 2 quick goals and the turnaround in the series. And again, they're yelling at us to ready up. My goodness, these players. All right.
Come on.
Come on, help me out here. You can at least like take some of the blame and like, yeah, we're a team. No, apparently not.
I'll have you know, mate, game ends. I'm the first one there. I'm winning the race to ready up for the next game. It's you, Subi. I'm looking at your name. It's not turning green. It's remaining white.
There's delay. This is a European server. I'm all the way in California. Okay, when I click the button, it takes like 10 seconds to show up.
I see. So the problem is that you're American, just like everything else. I get it.
Yeah, no.
1-0 in this series, and VENC have done really well to make that so, but it's Endpoint that start a little bit better in game number 3. Virtuoso turn this attack into something substantial. It's a decent touch. Asking a question of Econ, who puts it out wide to Cryptos, whose clearance didn't look ideal at first, but got a bounce on the way. Made it tough for Metsonoris, but he turns something from it. Catalysm gets a save. Cryptos won't get a touch here, and it's Endpoint with all the early pressure. Metsonoris comes in, but Econ, again, who's doing so much work in defense, gets yet another touch.
And he did his job perfectly, almost getting it over Metsonoris there, but Econ, he was the first initial defender, and he saw Metsonoris starting to cheat out and come towards that top of the box and said, hey, I know my teammates are behind me, I'm going to defend the pass, and the pass came out. Great IQ there coming out on the defensive side.
Ooh, Metsonoris had a chance to pass there to Virtuoso, but he missed his lines. Relating Wave tries to keep the pressure on, but Catalysm will get an easy clear. This game has been all Endpoint so far, which they'll be very pleased about. Econ, the thing is, that clearance, he had a chance to take a touch there, and instead he's just boomed it. And look how easy Relating Wave finds Virtuoso down the left wing. VENC needs to do a little bit more than just clearing long right now, because Endpoint are swallowing that up.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about in Game 1, where they're trying to just hit the ball, just bomb it downfield, and this isn't Rocket League Season 1 anymore. That strategy doesn't work out every single time. You've got to be a little smarter and kind of survey the field before you go for the hit, and just like that, Metsonoris is going to rotate back. He saw Catalysm, had a better angle, better approach on that ball, and instead of going for a failed 50-50, opts to go back to defense, and look at this. They're on offense now, keeping pressure up, but Econ going to push this one to the side wall, and that's an easy clear for VENC Gaming, trying to make some offense for themselves.
But where does it go, though? It falls to Metsonoris, actually, whose touch himself wasn't great. And Cryptos almost was able to come in, but that's a transition. Look at that. Virtuoso to Metsonoris. Relating Wave is coming in. He wants to take a touch here. Instead, he snapshots it. Catalysm rolls it high, hoping nobody from Endpoint is going to be able to come in for the next touch, but of course, yet again they are. This time it's Metsonoris from the ceiling. Still has his dodge, but Catalysm is reading him the full way. They really need to build some pressure of their own right now, VENC, because it seems to me like it's a matter of time that Endpoint are going to score the way this third game is looking. Then again, the second game is looking like a clean win for Endpoint, and that's not what happened.
Yeah, we're through the first half and just found ourselves into the second, and VENC Gaming only with one shot, and to be honest, I don't even remember when it came from. That's how little offense they've had. It's just been all Endpoint, but they've been unable to chip away at that defense, unable to find their mark, and that's a mistake from Relating Wave, and I don't think Cryptos was expecting that.
Well, Cryptos was expecting Relating Wave to miss the ball entirely. It looked like he was going to. Hang about, this might be sneaking in. It's off the post. Virtuoso
oh, did Relating Wave get a touch on that?
He got the slightest touch.
Oh,
yeah, he
my.
completely messed up his jump. And then somehow, at the last second, he got a touch on it. Not sure how he did it, but that is what messed up the VENC man. Now, Cryptos gets a great touch towards the backboard. Relating Wave's missed it again. Looking a little bit shaky right now after such a dominant mechanical game number 1. He needs to find his confidence and quick, because Endpoint are not invincible right now, because suddenly VENC are knocking on the door. Metsonoris puts action again on the backboard. He's missed it. Relating Wave this time saves today, but Virtuoso, this could be it. If he can take a touch here and a dribble, 1v1 up against Econ, who comes in and gets a great clearance all the way back deep into Endpoint territory.
So as someone that, hold the phone, Metsonoris couldn't get by the last defender. But as someone that watches Endpoint probably more than most people, from what I've seen, and please tell me if this is true, is the Achilles heel for Endpoint, that back wall defense. My goodness, that almost went in. So close, but now we can go back to my question. That back wall seems to be troubling them right now.
It is for sure right now. I'd say normally it's not so much backboard defense, it's more communication in defense, which I guess eventually leads to backboard problems. If you think your teammate's covering the backboard and they're not, then suddenly you have to make a last-second dive. So yeah, this is sort of, it seems symptomatic of their real issue when it comes to stopping goals going in. So I'm not, I'm not completely surprised to see that, but I am surprised that this game has had no goals, because even as you were trying to say that, Subi, I'm trying to say this, there are always chances, and that's a double commit, exactly what I was talking about, right in the center of the map, and Virtuoso is a lucky boy that he was all alone to catch that one.
Oh, Vert almost got the touch on Cryptos, but here comes Relating Wave, the dagger, with 3 seconds to go. They're looking to go up in the series.
This game has been an absolute microcosm of the best and the worst of Endpoint. In attack, they sustain so much pressure, but they just can't get the goal that they so desperately crave. Eventually, they manage it. 3 seconds left. Now, can VENC come back in? They need a good kickoff here. Kryptos up against Vert will get a chance for a solo play. Not sure how much boost he has. Needs to keep this ball up. He does once, does twice. Blocked out by an Endpoint man, like an American football play. Ball touches the floor, and it is 2-1 Endpoint. And goodness me, Subi, there were so many chances for both teams in that match.
There really were, and surprisingly, you expect to see by Game 3 all the mistakes to be kind of ironed out at this point, and it seemed like this was the sloppiest game that we've seen so far on both sides of the pitch. And Cole, why don't you ready up there, bud? I'm seeing white and no green around your name.
No!
We got him, boys! We got him!
I can tell you why. I'll tell you why I didn't ready up.
Yeah, please.
Because Supersonic, I think it was. Yeah, Supersonic atted me in the RLCS general chat. I was clicking on that. I got distracted by Supersonic.
Oh, Supersonic, come on.
Casting, pal. No, I've not ready up.
What are you doing?
Got one up on me. I give up.
You know, at least we can agree to blame Supersonic because he's not here to defend himself, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Good, that's what we want to see. Right then, game number 4, and Endpoint take a slender lead into it. They've had most of the pressure in this series, but not too many of the goals. That's a good save from Econ. He's done a lot of work in defense, the man in the Merc.
He really has, and I've been impressed with the brains that we've seen on defense, because it's not just making diving saves, it's trying to cut out passing lanes, it's trying to take shooting lanes away, and that's what you always want to see from a great defender.
Here's Kryptos up over the top of Metsonoris. Virtuoso and Econ now combine. One goes into the backboard. Cassius's coming in. How many passes has he got central? He had Kryptos behind him.
Again, Metsonoris!
Force a touch. Metsonoris has missed. Kryptos to the backboard, but Relating Wave comes in.
That's
30 times.
3, 4 off that back wall that Metsonoris has not only just misplayed, but completely missed the ball.
A little bit awkward from him. Very unlike the man. But his team have got away with it so far. Now Virtuoso gets an attack going of his own, but the 50-50 goes behind Relating Wave and Metsonoris somehow. And they're being penned back. This one a direct role reversal from game number 3. Kryptos will save that one easily. The question is, can he get the next touch? Which he does. Metsonoris pass or shoot. He passes. Virtuoso's there. He passes back.
Oh!
The dunk, and that is what we expect from Endpoint. Look at that combination.
I love this pass in from Metza, out from Vert, and Metza with the dunk. He puts the defender on a poster, and Endpoint, they've got the golden goal. They've got to hold on, but they've got a long time to do it.
Yeah, I imagine they'll need at least one more goal. I can't see this one ending 1-0. I still can't believe the last one did, to be quite honest with you, Subi, but Endpoint will try. VENC, though, will keep on coming down the other side. It'll be a huge pinch to launch an attack. Econ down to Kryptos. And that one's found the net, and we've had a few beautiful passing plays this game.
You love to see it, and Metza, not the greatest touch, takes an awkward bounce out, and the infield pass, and look at the placement from Kryptos. Somehow keeps that ball down low to the ground. It doesn't bounce at all, and just rolls it into the bottom half of the net.
And VENC builds on that. Their first goal in a game and a half. And they have had chances to score many more, but finally they break their recent duck. Virtuoso, though, could get a double tap. A bit of quality from him, and a great save from Kryptos. The quality has been stepped up in this 4th game. All these players playing with freedom now, both in attack and defense. Metsonoris is going to try and turn this one back around, but Capitalism can help it on its way. Econ against Relating Wave. It goes high. Who's going to win this race? It's Virtuoso again. He's done that so many times already in game number 4. Winning loose balls in his opponent's half, and he gets the pass now, but he can't quite reach it. Good idea from Relating Wave, but still 1-1.
Yeah, that was a very hot pass to try and catch. And Econ, he's backwards, he's awkward, and instead of half flipping, he does a very, I would say a gold half flip.
Yeah, you said this wasn't season 1 anymore, but that half flip was a little bit like it, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. And Kryptos trying to get a touch there on Virtuoso, trying to give him a taste of his own medicine. And great play there to work the field left to right and force the defense to completely shift. But they gave up control of the ball, and Metza has Vert midfield. But there's Econ. We've talked about his defensive prowess, and there he was, cutting out that passing lane.
The infield passes, though, are absolutely devastating for both teams right now, despite that one being saved. It's how both goals were scored, and it's where all the danger seems to be coming from. Two backboard-heavy defensive teams, it seems, despite Endpoint struggles in that regard earlier. Now, Metsonoris has read Catalysm's touch, and he'll read the dunk as well. It's a Cryptos, in comes Virtuoso, and they've combined yet again.
Well, first it was Metza with the nasty dunk, and here comes Metza again with the nasty dunk. Virtuoso is there for the cleanup. The defender just not expecting the power Metza's getting on those 50-50s and how dominant he's been with winning them.
Hang about, though. Here's Cryptos. He's got a chance, but Virtuoso gets a bump in the air. It still turns into a second. Oh my goodness. I thought the play had gone away after first bump, but somehow it's 2-2.
He somehow gets the touch? That's amazing, and the save so close. But hey, sometimes you gotta make lemonade when lemons present themselves.
I actually can't believe that poor old Virtuoso has turned a great air bump into an own pass, essentially. Crazy scenes, but it is 2-2, and Rating Wave could make it 3. It's saved by Cryptos. Virtuoso's coming in. The Fox in the box yet again, 3-2, and this game just keeps on delivering, Subi.
I mean, you were right. You said, I don't think this is going to end 1-0, and it definitely is not. They're scoring just in bunches right now. Everyone getting involved on both sides of the pitch.
Could be 4 straight from the kickoff. Relating Wave with the easiest goal he'll get all day, and there is daylight between these two teams.
I mean, I can't even take notes at this point. They're scoring so fast. Just a poor kickoff there, and love to take another look at that to see what VENC Gaming did wrong. Did they get too aggressive on the cheat up, or did they just not cheat up at all? It's just, where was the second man?
The problem is, Subi, that they conceded. That was a mistake.
You can't have that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd be letting them might do it again here. They didn't. They saved well in the end. Virtuoso trying to just get the deftest of touches to bring in Relating Wave. His team now 2 to the good. Catalysm needs to get something going quick. It's a good pass for Econ into the corner. It's missed by Virtuoso. Catalysm is completely left stranded in the center. Had to completely check his run. Hit the brakes, which he did not want to do. That lost him all the power in the ball. But where's that dunk going? Is that in? Metsonoris has missed it on the backboard. Cryptos didn't have the boost. It's pandemonium. But Econ scores. This is so messy. I love it.
This is as sloppy as you can get. Look at this shot placement from Econ. Back door, he knows Relating Wave's coming from that side, and he's coming with full boost, just hauling butt towards net. And he makes it go back door. You love to see it.
That's what I love about you, Subi. The scrappiest goal we'll probably see all day, and you've brought some beauty from it. A little bit of skill is the only thing you notice, not the weird mess of cars tangling together that preceded it. But we are in the latter stages of this 4th game, and VENC Gaming are desperate to get the 4th that they need to force overtime. Virtuoso towards the backboard. Econ won't be underneath this one. Instead, it's Catalysm. He's got Cryptos ahead of him to go for a bump or a pass off the backboard. Surely it's going to be 4-all, and yes, it is!
Oh my goodness, what is this series? Catalysm with the great bump on Metsonoris and Relating Wave. Not expecting it at all. He can't get up towards the top of the net, and it's just wide open. My goodness, all tied up. Every goal in this series, now it doesn't matter.
Utterly wild up to now. And there's still at least 15 seconds left for more madness to occur. Let's see which team ends up benefiting from it. Virtuoso is high, showing off his mechanics and for his demos, but he does have those too. That clearance is good though, and Metsonoris, all he can really do is slow this one down and probably now hope for overtime. Wants to kill it, and he does. We're going to overtime, Subi. Place your bets, because I got nothing.
Well, I don't have any dollary dues to be betting with, so, can't be doing that.
Who are you feeling? Who are you backing?
I don't know. This has been so back and forth. Both teams have really shown dominance at sometimes, and then we've seen such bad mistakes at others. But I think VENC Gaming have the momentum on their side, and if it's going to be an overtime winner, I'm not going to say it yet. It's going to be VENC Gaming, I feel like.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. I think that if they can just stay tall defensively, they will eventually be able to break down this Endpoint squad. Catalysm gets the ball rolling on one of these attacks that they need to do. Virtuoso out wide. Econ's coming in. Force the 50-50, which Metsonoris has to do something with. He can't! That's pitching in! But Relating Wave makes a save. I'm telling you right now, Subi, this is going to be a weird goal that ends this one. Mark my words.
Oh, I totally believe it. That's awkward. Nobody up. Relating Wave has to jump, but he uses all that boost for nothing. Doesn't even get a touch on the ball, and Metsonoris gives them a little breathing room, lets them all boost back up, but back come VENC Gaming. Ball in the blue half. Virtuoso gets dunked by Econ. Here comes Kryptos. Puts the shot on, but just a little too high. And both teams getting their shots.
It's all VENC at the moment, though. Even though they have had chances in this OT, the pair of them. Virtuoso needs to take control of this ball, get this dunk here, and he can't. Kryptos keeps them penned in their own corner, but he has missed the next touch. It's a great clearance from Relating Wave, whose boys in blue really needed him to achieve that. Good mechanics from Econ to get past two of them. No boost left, though, so it's Relating Wave that comes in next. Metalism clears long. Metsonoris is buzzing around underneath this one, just waiting for the perfect moment to not get dunked with his touch. But still, the ball must have had 70% of the OT in the endpoint half. They just cannot clear their lines completely, and when they do, VENC are sending it right back to them, like now.
Well, yeah, Endpoint are just bombing the ball downfield because it's almost a panic clear. They just want to get that ball out of their half so they can get boost to have another shot at defense. But here comes Virtuoso, the pass to Relating Wave. Great defense, but here comes Metza to end the series. Endpoint, move on.
2.25 minutes into overtime, finally, Endpoint see it away. They won 3-1 the last time these two guys played in the RLCSX, and this time we have had a direct repeat of that. 5-4 in overtime. Subi, I think that makes up for the last series that we had. That one had everything.
It did, and it had the same result as the first split. Endpoint taking the series 3-1, but VENC Gaming showed moments of brilliance, but that's all it was just little flashes, and you've got to be able to cook in the kitchen, if you will, a little longer than that, because a team like Endpoint's going to extinguish that fire pretty quickly.
I enjoyed seeing VENC Gaming play. I like the chaos that seems to fall in their wake whenever they step forward in the Rocket League field. And I think for me, maybe it was because he was using the Merc, so it's easier to notice him. But Econ did stand out. Even in that overtime, he got past two Endpoint players and it almost came to something. And the amount of saves he made. I was thinking Endpoint are about to score here. Econ would fly out of nowhere to get a block. And I think without that man, they would have conceded a lot more goals than they did.
Yeah, I agree. His defense was extremely impressive, and offensively, he showed up as well. He got 3 assists. He got, looks like 2 goals to me, and it's doing well, but when you're going up against a team like Endpoint where you're just trading blow for blow, that's not enough. You've got to do more, and got to wonder what more could they have done, because it seemed like they played Endpoint perfectly, but Endpoint sneak away with a win there.
Endpoint, who were one series win away from making the playoffs in the last regional. They'll be looking to avenge that and go one step further. They looked good as well. They were exciting. They were frantic. They were pretty much what we expect of Endpoint, and they did enough to get the win that they desired.
Yeah, and what did you guys think about that? I want to see the conversation. I want to hear all of your thoughts, and I know FDOT is. He's been sitting all morning like this, waiting. So make sure you follow at RL Esports. Use the hashtag RLCSX and get involved, man. Let's hear what you got to say. And you got some time to do it. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back with some more Rocket League.